We have heard all about this war from Trump. You know the war I'm talking about, the war with Pope Leo. Yeah, the one where Pope Leo rightfully tells the president that he's going to pray for peace in the Middle East. And Trump's response was to put out an AI-generated image that shows himself as Jesus Christ and call the Pope weak on crime. With all the backlash and all the mess, Donald Trump needed someone to step up for him and be the messenger. And who would be better than that than the slick guy from the Midwest, the converted Catholic, J.D. Vance. So J.D. Vance worked up the best thing he could think of to say to the Pope, and he went on Fox News to deliver it.
I don't think that it's particularly newsworthy, but I certainly think that in some cases it would be best for the Vatican to stick to matters of morality, to stick to matters of what's going on in the Catholic Church, and let the President of the United States stick to dictating American public policy.
Stick to matters of morality. That is the vice president of an administration that is kidnapping people off of the streets, bombing Iran, threatening to end their entire civilization, ending health care for poor people, denying refugees. All of those Christ-like things that Donald Trump is doing. And J.D. Vance has the nerve to tell the Pope to stick to morality. And it just makes me wonder, what is the moral compass of the MAGA movement? What morality are they talking about if they don't want the Pope praying for peace in the Middle East? It's absolutely disgusting. And for his part, Donald Trump, if you don't remember what he said, he went on Truth Social saying that the Pope must be okay for Iran to have a nuclear weapon, which they don't have that capability, or we lied about bombing their enrichment facilities. And then he posted that image, the image that shows him healing the sick, dressed as Jesus Christ, with daytime fireworks and a fighter jet and Sauron and some G.I. Joe looking guy. It looks like a 14-year-old decided to get on ChatGPT and said, make me look like a hero. And I want explosions in the sky and airplanes and that cool guy from Lord of the Rings. That is our President of the United States. And so what exactly, though, was it that Pope Leo said that was so offensive to the Trump regime? He said to care for the sick. He said to stop bombing Iran, including civilian infrastructure. And he said that their bombing of Iran represented a delusion of omnipotence that surrounds us and is becoming increasingly unpredictable and aggressive. Donald Trump is not predictable. Donald Trump handles things with aggression, without maturity. The Pope is telling the truth. The Pope is a moral figure. Donald Trump and J.D. Vance are immoral figures. Immoral. And it reminds me of the part of the Bible that the MAGA Christians seem to leave out. The Beatitudes, Jesus' most famous speech. They tend to focus on the 10 Commandments instead. Blessed are the merciful. Blessed are the peacemakers. Those are the people that Jesus was talking about. Those are the people that the Pope wants Donald Trump and J.D. Vance to emulate. Not, blessed are the billionaires, for we will give you a tax cut at the expense of people's health care. Monty Python, in 1979 with Life of Brian, they were being absurd when they said, blessed are the cheesemakers. Of course, the joke was that they weren't being literal. We mean all manufacturers of dairy. They were closer to Christianity in 1979 in an absurd sketch than this administration is. And for them to lecture the Pope and say that, you know what, you need to stay in your lane. The first thing I think about is the First Amendment. Sure, we have separation of church and state. But what the Pope is talking about is basic human decency, basic morality, something that the Trump regime and J.D. Vance have none of. So the next time Donald Trump decides to go to war and post AI images, whether it's Iran or the Vatican, just remember who they are going to war against and what they are going to war for. And you know what? You're not going to find opinions like this anywhere else. Do me a favor, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, share this everywhere, because independent media like us depend on your interactions.